Hi there, Alexander here from Thompson Leisure. I'm just going to walk you through our TLL Trooper rental motorhome. So we'll start with the basics. So unlocking it, you have just your main central lock and key. Unlock and lock. That does the ignition, and that key also opens the diesel tank. So pretty straightforward. 6-speed manual. It's just like driving a car, really, only much bigger. So yeah, just take your time, enjoy the drive, and yeah, be careful. So your main habitation door locks and unlocks with this key here. It's a little round key. So turn it to the left, that unlocks it, and then turn it to the right to then lock the door. You have to lock this door separate from the main door. On from that then, here you have your plug-in point. All the vans are supplied with an electric lead. So that is the male end, you have the female connector, and then the other end into your power supply. So onto your garage. So to unlock the garage, it's this key here. So the longer skinny key, it's unlocked at the minute. All you have to do, push the two little tabs, that'll pop out, and then open your door, and that is the garage. You can make the garage bigger if you want. If you lift out the mattress and set it on the top bunk, then this will lift over that way and give you a bigger garage. But this also means you can access, what's underneath your bed from the inside of the van. But as I say, you do have plenty of storage there as it is, and unless you really need a massive garage, you should be okay. So when it comes to locking them, so just when locking it back up, push them both in, use the long skinny key, and just twist it 90 degrees, and that is your garage locked. So onto your bike rack, all the 4 berths through to 7 berths all come with a 4 bike rack. So first thing you have to do is just release this little latch. So I would usually just roll that up, store it in the garage, or just store it somewhere that you're not going to lose it. So to get your bike rack down, then it's just these little clips. Just give it a good pull, that'll drop down. And then the first thing you want to do, so biggest bike goes on first. So handlebars either side, it doesn't really matter. What you want to do then, once you've set the bike, before you set the bike on, is lift these out. Once you set it on, these go through the spokes and just tighten like that, then press that to release. But yes, as I say, biggest bike on first, handlebars either side, doesn't matter. The next biggest bike on second, with the handlebars on the opposite side, and so on is the best way to pack your bike rack. When you are putting the bikes on, you have these little arms here which secure to the frames. So before you put them on, you want to have the big ones up the way. So obviously the bike that is closest to the motorhome, the smallest one goes onto. So same thing, you just push that in, and that will go around the frame. Go around the frame of the bike and slot back in. Actually, I'll twist that the other way. There we go. So again, and then just make sure it doesn't have to be really tight, but just tight enough to hold it on. And then just the same thing with these ones. So obviously the longest bar does the bike that's furthest away. So yeah, that is the bike rack. So when you're putting it back away, or when you're putting it back up, just push to click it back in, and then put your little rope. It's just a very simple, let me get the ends of it here. Just a very simple little latch. So it just goes in through here. Right, as I say, it just goes through here. I just tie it up so it's out of the way. So yeah, that's really, as long as it's tied up, it should be fairly safe. But as I say, you only really need to have that on if you're not using the bike rack. So the passenger side, then you have another door which gives you access to your garage. Again, same key opens that. Then your toilet cassette is just in here. So again, the long skinny key unlocks the toilet cassette. Push both the buttons in, and then when you're lifting this out, there's a little blue latch here. Pull that up and it should slide out very easily. If it's not sliding out easily, that means the latch is open on the inside. So you want to make sure that's closed, otherwise if you force it, you'll break it. So that slides out. Then to empty the cassette, you pull this little tube out, the lid twists off, and then you hold, there's a little button here, hold that down and then tip the contents out into the waste disposal at your campsite or wherever it may be. So putting it back on, obviously, close that and fold it back in. If something does get stuck in here, that slides off and then this opens up if something gets stuck. This is your fresh water fill-up. So the long key, again, unlocks this. So pops out, and yeah, just a garden hose. You'll be all right to fill that up with. If you need fresh water, we do put them out full of water. It just depends, how much you use it. Just lock that again, and yeah, that's that. While we're on the topic, so that's your fresh water fill up. I say all vans must come back with your toilet cassette empty and cleaned. So really the easiest way to do that is put some fresh water into it, make sure everything's closed, and give it a good shake, and then empty it out, and just do that until it's clear water coming out. To empty the grey water then, the grey water is your sink and your shower water. So there is a little grey lever here. So you just grab that, give it a good pull, and then you'll see down beneath that the little bit of water in there at the minute. That's just from testing it. So once it's stopped running, just push that back in, and that'll close the valve. So on from that then, this is the gas locker. So everything comes with 2 full bottles of gas. So again, the long key just unlocks that. It's called a gas low system. So both the bottles are in use. So as I say, never drive with your gas on, but once you arrive up to where you're camping, turn the gas on by turning the little yellow nozzles. So yeah, that's your gas now on. So usually at this point then, I would say, lock up the locker. If you're at a campsite, you obviously don't want anyone getting in, messing with your gas, but I'll leave it open for now. We'll turn it off before we finish the video. So we'll get then round to, well, this is your fuel fill up. So as I said, your main ignition key just slots in, twists, unlocks, and then fill it up with diesel. Everything goes out with a full tank of diesel, so it must come back in with a full tank of diesel. As I say, all the vans we're putting on are either 2020 or 2021 models, but if in the unlikely event you do need to look under the bonnet catch is just here. So you pull that down, you'll hear it pop, and then it's the same as a car. You have the little catch in under here, and then the little bar to keep it propped open. But as I said, you shouldn't need to get under the bonnet, but if you do, that's how you do it. So we'll go and have a look at the inside of the motorhome now. So the first thing I want to talk you through is your water heater and then the space heater. So it runs purely off the gas. So the first one here, you'll see the sort of little van flashing icon. Select it, and that's just your thermostat. You can set it right up to 30, but I say sort of in around about 22, 23 is usually spot on if you need to have a bit of heating. But say, just turn that off. Then your gas, so that's your water. So the hottest you can make it is boost. But if that starts flashing up, then just use hot. Eco, it takes the longest to heat the water up, so I would usually just either use hot or boost, but yeah, those would be your options. And then the little fan icon, so that is just for how much you want to turn the fan up when you have the space heater on, and that will turn off by itself when you turn the space heater off, as you can see. And then don't worry about these are just sort of if you want to set time clocks and stuff, but usually don't really worry about that. They do heat up very quickly, so you shouldn't need to worry. So then this is the control panel of the van. So at the minute you can see it's running, we're plugged in, so it's running off the mains electricity. And you're not plugged in, you need to run it off the auxiliary, which is your leisure battery and all that sort of stuff. Then let me see here, then this is your internal lighting. So that just turns on. You have another little light switch here, but there's obviously there's various sort of light switches dotted all around the van. So that controls all those. Then you can control these from up here as well, but so that just turns all those off. Then this is your water pump. You'll hear when you hit that the pump it starts. You can hear it starting up pretty much, and then that'll just for your shower and your sink and for your loo to flush. You need to have your water pump on. And that tells you then your leisure battery charge and your water level. Just a little information button there. So on from that. So this is your cooker then. So I'll lift the splash guard out of the way. So this lifts up. Say this for your cooker to work properly, you have to lift this up. So gas cooker. So push it in and twist. There we go. So it can take a little while to light, but say just keep holding it, hold the clicker, and say three gas hob. When you are cooking on it, let's say this is the little splash guard that comes with the van. So set that down the long side facing out this way. Lift your glass guard and fire up and cook away. When it comes to then closing this down, well, you obviously want to make sure this is closed before you drive anywhere because it is safety glass, it will shatter. But don't set it down obviously when the gas hob is on, and don't set it down whenever the rings are very hot, because again, setting the cold glass against the hot metal, it can shatter. But yeah, once you're done there, so give that a clean, and I'll just store that away in here. Alright, so the next bit here then is your sink. So again, water pump is on, normal sink. As I say, your hot water for your shower will again do your hot water for your sink as well. Then this is your fridge freezer. So you have the little latches here, just pull those up and that opens your doors. Then to switch it on, just have the little on button. It is an automatic fridge, so you'll see the little A here. When the A is popped up, then it'll automatically detect whether you're running on the electricity, whether you're driving along, it'll run off the leisure battery, or when you're wild camping, then as long as your gas is on, it'll switch automatically to the gas. Then this is just a little thermostat. There we go. So I'll leave it there. That's as cold as it goes. So yeah, that is your fridge freezer. So up here then you have your oven grill. So pull this down, say push it in and turn it all the way to max. Hit your spark. There we go. And you'll hear the little the gas just igniting. And then you'll see a little bit of condensation coming up from the back if you know when your flame's lit. So that is for your oven, and then put it back to minimum to switch it off. Push it in again, twist it all the way around, and hit the little spark for the grill. And then again, you should see, yeah, there it is, the little blue flame just through the gap here. And again, you can just adjust that as you need to. And then to turn that off, just put it back to minimum. All right. Here, this is your bathroom then. So the 7-berth, but to open it up, just twist the handle, and that opens up your door. The 7-berth has a separate shower and toilet. And so your sink and storage under the sink, as well as storage in behind the mirror. Your windows then, the cab windows all operate just with these little clips here. So when you're opening your window, you just push it out. You'll hear that little click. That's sort of just opens it a little bit. Then the next click, again, opens it more, and then your third click opens it the most. Push it all the way up, and that'll bring it back down. If you want to leave the windows just like on the breather, you can put them in. There's a little slot here, and just put them all into that. And then when it comes to closing them, make sure they're all the way in, so you can actually see, you can see the little hook on the far side of the clip. Then you have your full fly screens and then blinds. So when it comes to night time, those are your blackout blinds. You have the same then on the skylights. So the skylights have your fly screens and your blinds. For opening the skylight then, you push this button in and pull that up. That's it all the way open. Again, if you want to leave it on the breather, you have the little hooks that you can just pop it into. But do make sure before you drive anywhere that all your windows are closed, because if they're blowing about in the wind, they can break quite easily. Then on from that, we have our television. So again, the TV comes, I'll actually show you how the aerial works, but it's a pretty standard TV. Just hit power, and when it comes to tune it, then just hit quick start, and it'll retune into local channels. Your TV aerial then is located in the wardrobe. So to access your wardrobe, and well, all of the lockers as well, or all the cupboards, you just push that in. It should pop out, and then you have a hanging rail in here and plenty of storage. But your TV aerial, so usually you shouldn't really need to touch your TV aerial to get TV signal, but if you are struggling to get signal, just twist it to slack it off a little bit, and this then raises up. A little bit of a tip: if you're in a campsite, you see people have the aerials up pointing a certain direction, then I would just copy them and point the aerial in the same direction that theirs is pointing in. That adjusts the direction, and then this adjusts the camber to fine tune it if you need to. But as I say, a lot of places you go, you shouldn't need to adjust the TV aerial. You should get signal okay. So all your pillows and, well, the little piece of wood here that you need to make up the bed, I store them all underneath the rear bunk. Just means they're out of the way, but everything is together. This bed's currently made up. You can remove these pillows if you do want a little bit more length. So I'll just demonstrate on this one here. So you'll see a little plastic catch here. So to remove the pillow, you pull that up and then that'll release. So you'll have one on the other side as well. And the same with this pillow and this pillow here. But to put it back on then, it can be a little bit awkward, but you just push it in, get it lined up, and then push the little latch back down, and that's it held back in place. When it comes to making up your bed then, it's already fully made up. You do need to flip your pillows, your cushions, so you're sleeping on the flat side. So as I say, this one's currently made up, sleeping on the material side. So just while you're making it up, flip the pillows and slot them in. And yeah, it's as simple as that really. So I've already put most of the pillows in under the bed, but to get access, you lift the mattress and then grab hold of the bed frame, lift the bed frame, it's on a hinge, and then yeah, just set your pillows in underneath. This board is very, very vital in making up your bed, so just make sure not to lose it. But yeah, just store it in there with the rest of your makeup pillows. Set the bed back down, and yeah, that's it. As I said, if you did want to make this into a large garage, if you're only sleeping 6 and you maybe have a lot of stuff to bring with you, you can lift the mattress out. Just make sure to set it on the top bunk so you don't lose it, and then, as I say, your bed frame will just lift up, and then you have loads of space for storage. So when it comes to blacking out your van then at night time, on the inside you have your blinds and screens. At the front then you have these clip-in blinds. They have little poppers on them here. You've 3 sheets, one for the driver's side, one for the passenger side, and then one for the main windscreen. So, that's the passenger side. So your little poppers here, just put them in against the windscreen. And that is it blacked out. So when you're doing the front windscreen, you'll see there's a little split in the blind here. That is just for your reverse camera. Same thing, just pop the little suckers to the window. And then I'll go across to the far side. Easiest place to do this is when you're outside the van. Alright, so yeah, that is the front of the van blacked out. Then, well, when you're taking them off, so just take them off carefully not to break them or pull them out. Again, I personally would be I keep these in the garage. Again, just means if the weather's decent and the easiest way to do it is from the outside, you can access them from the outside. But if the weather takes a turn, you can do it all from the inside of the van. So yeah. So before we finish up then, just the last thing you need to do before hitting the road, obviously check you're unplugged, but then also turn off your gas. You never want to drive with your gas on. There we go. So just turn them, not too tight, but just sort of tight enough. And then, well, I've left the keys inside, but lock your locker door, and then yeah, you're good to go. So, but yeah, that is the handover video for the TLL Trooper 7-berth motorhome. If there's anything else you need, you can get us on 02892 693 999, or as I say, you can contact us on social media via email. Thanks.